Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're setting out on a fascinating journey to discover the interconnected blueprint of nature. We aren't just going to look at a bunch of isolated, random facts today. Instead, we're going to see how the very mechanics operating right now inside our own bodies scale all the way out to the vastness of the cosmos. By the time we're done here, you're going to look at this scientific world in a completely unified way. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Is there a hidden code that connects the deeply intimate systems inside of us to the incredibly vast cosmos around us? We're so often taught science as a boring list of disconnected topics, right? Biology one day, physics the next. But what if it's all actually a single, magnificent scaling system? What if understanding one piece literally unlocks the next? Okay, let's dive into this. Picture our universe like a brilliant set of matryoshka dolls. Those nesting dolls where one fits perfectly inside the other. We're going to start at the very center, really understanding the deeply personal scale of our own physical bodies. Then we'll step perfectly outward, layer by layer. We'll move through the natural web of life, pull back to reveal the invisible rules of physics, and finally arrive at the grand cosmic scale. It is all beautifully connected. To navigate all this, we're going to traverse 5 distinct scales today. First up, the human machine. 2, the living web. 3, the invisible rules. 4, the cosmic scale. And finally, number 5, the responsible steward. It's a lot of science, but we're treating it as one highly anticipated adventure. Let's go! Scale number 1, the human machine. Understanding the systems inside us. We're zooming all the way into our first, most intimate scale, grounding ourselves in the mechanics of our very own physical bodies. Listen, your body is the ultimate piece of sophisticated engineering. The human framework is supported by a skeleton made of exactly 206 bones in an adult. Fun fact, though, we're actually born with around 300 before they fuse together over time. This framework is powered by a muscular engine that pulls on those bones so we can walk, run, and jump. Think about how you move. You've got these brilliant ball and socket joints in your shoulders and hinge joints in your knees. And all the while, this biological machine is constantly collecting data from the outside world through our sensory nodes. We've got eyes for optical data, ears for acoustic processing, a nose for olfactory detection, a tongue for chemical sampling, and skin for tactile feedback. And all of that routes instantly directly to the brain. But here's the thing. To keep this incredible machine running, it requires a perfectly balanced diet. To fuel the human engine, we need energy batteries. That means carbohydrates, like rice and wheat, for immediate energy, and fats, like butter or oil, for long-term storage. We also need structural building blocks, proteins, from pulses or eggs to fuel our growth and repair. Then we've got protective shields, vitamins from fruits and minerals from milk or spinach to protect us from disease. And finally, system maintenance, water to help internal functions, and roughage from veggies to aid in digestion. If you miss even one of these, the whole engine kind of just misfires. Scale number 2. The living web, plants, animals, and the biosphere. Now that we know exactly how the human machine works and how it's fueled, let's step out one layer in our matryoshka doll to look at the living web that actually creates that fuel and sustains us. It all starts in Earth's ultimate natural kitchen, driven by an invisible process called photosynthesis. This is the foundational stage for how energy is actually created on our planet. Plants take raw inputs, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and chlorophyll, and they convert them into the food and oxygen that the rest of the biosphere absolutely relies on. Without this silent, continuous engine, the entire web collapses, no question. And this creates a totally beautiful, interconnected relationship between flora and fauna. The physical anatomy of flora, roots absorbing water from the earth, stems carrying it up, and flowers driving reproduction, produces the exact output needed to sustain the animal kingdom's dietary matrix. Herbivores eat the plants, carnivores eat the flesh, and omnivores eat both. The output of the plant directly sustains this sprawling, perfectly interlinked animal matrix. But wait, it goes even deeper than that. We have to look at the vital synthesis of the whole ecosystem. Whether we're looking at a terrestrial habitat like a sprawling forest or a harsh desert, or an aquatic habitat like a pond or an ocean, animals obviously depend on plants, but living things, which grow, breathe, reproduce, and move, are fundamentally tethered to non-living things, like water, rocks, and soil, which do not grow or breathe. You literally can't have one without the other. Every natural habitat on Earth requires both living and non-living elements working perfectly together for survival. Which brings us to scale number 3, the invisible rules: forces, matter, light, and energy. We're going to zoom out once again. Let's peel back the biological layer for a second and peek under the hood at the invisible physical rules. We're looking at the hidden code governing all matter and exactly how the universe organizes its building blocks. All matter around us is coded into 3 distinct states. We've got solids, like stone, which feature tightly packed particles and have a fixed shape. We have liquids, like water, which flow to take the exact shape of their container. And we have gases, like the air we breathe, with particles that freely spread absolutely everywhere. Literally everything you see, touch, or breathe falls into this matrix. Now, matter isn't just sitting there static. It moves. And it moves because of force. Force is, very simply, just a push or a pull. Work is done when that force moves an object, stops an object, or changes its direction. Understanding this simple, invisible rule was a total game changer. It's what allowed humanity to step out of the food chain and begin shaping the world to our distinct advantage. Because once we nailed down how force works, we built these, the 4 simple machines. These foundational tools allow us to manipulate physical force almost effortlessly. We use the lever to balance weight, just like a playground seesaw. The pulley lets us draw heavy water up from a well with a single rope. The wheel and axle provides the brilliant rolling mechanics behind everything from a simple cart to a bicycle. And the inclined plane, which is really just a ramp, eases the lifting of heavy loads. These 4 concepts, they are the ancestors of every complex machine we use today. And it's not just physical objects pushing and pulling. Invisible phenomena follow incredibly strict rules too. Take light and sound. When a source of light shines and hits an opaque object, meaning an object that doesn't let light pass through, it casts a dark shadow directly opposite to the light source onto a screen or surface. It's perfectly geometric. And sound? It propagates outward from distinct sources in waves, whether that's the beat of a drum, the ring of a bell, or the acoustics of a human voice. Scale number 4, the cosmic scale. Earth, weather, and the solar system. Let's step back and see how this builds into the macro level now. We're looking at the giant systems of our planet and our entire cosmic neighborhood. Just take a moment to appreciate the sheer scale of Earth's engine. The water cycle is this massive perpetual system that drives our daily weather and seasons. Step 1, evaporation, where solar energy turns liquid water into vapor rising into the sky. Step 2, condensation, where that vapor cools and changes into massive floating clouds. Step 3, precipitation, when the water finally falls back to the surface as rain or snow. And step 4, collection, gathering back in our vast lakes, rivers, and oceans. It's a majestic, nonstop engine. And powering all these weather dynamics is something entirely invisible, something we totally take for granted: air. We often think of air as just nothing, right? But it actually occupies space and has tangible weight. Surprisingly, the vast majority of our atmosphere is made up of nitrogen. Only a smaller yet incredibly crucial slice is oxygen, which we need for breathing and for burning, and just a tiny sliver is left for carbon dioxide and water vapor. This incredibly precise cocktail is what makes life on this rock possible. And man, what a magnificent rock it is. The spherical architecture of our planet is covered by towering mountains, flat-topped plateaus, and sweeping plains. And zooming out even further reveals our true place in the cosmos. We're sitting perfectly in the solar system, orbiting the central sun among 7 other planets, from Mercury all the way out to Neptune. We rotate constantly on our axis, which gives us our rhythm of day and night, while our natural satellite, the moon, shines purely by reflecting the sun's light. It is an absolute masterpiece of cosmic engineering. Finally, scale number 5, the responsible steward, returning this whole blueprint right back into your hands. So we just traveled all the way out to the planets, right? Well, let's pull all the way back down to your own 2 feet. We need to uncover the ultimate purpose of understanding this massive scale. The crucial point is this: now that you understand how the machine works, you are uniquely tasked to be a guardian of it. That means executing responsible action protocols across the board. For the environment, it means tracking pollution, planting trees, and actively reducing our plastic use. For first aid and safety, it means maintaining the human machine by cleaning wounds properly with water and antiseptic, and avoiding obvious dangers like fire and live electric wires. And for our health, it means preventing disease by eating well, getting vaccines, and building daily habits like waking up early, respecting our elders, and actively saving water and electricity. Because ultimately, science is absolutely not just some static textbook you read and forget. It's an endless cycle. It begins with careful observation of the human, biological, physical, and cosmic realms. That leads directly to deep thinking. And that thinking, that gives you the power of problem solving. It is an endless engine of discovery that helps us understand ourselves and the entire world around us. You've just scaled the entire blueprint of nature. You've mastered the basic systems of life, the invisible rules of matter, and the cosmic engine above. The tools are yours now. So, I leave you with this final thought. What massive problems in your world are you going to solve today with this incredible blueprint?